In this video, I take you around my favourite thrift shops in the Raval neighbourhood of Barcelona, as well as showing you a try-on haul of everything I got and sharing some thoughts about my own journey with personal style. I've left the timestamps in the description, so if you want to skip to any particular part, you can. Otherwise, I hope you sit back and enjoy spending these moments playing dress up with me. Today I want to do a bit of a wardrobe reset for autumn. Styling and clothing has not at all been a priority for me these past months, but I want to get back into that. Seasons are changing, the clocks have been set back, and I do not have appropriate autumn or winter wear at all. So we're going thrifting. I like to go into thrifting with a bit of a strategy, Pinterest board and all, because I think it can be a bit overwhelming. A high street shop is sort of laid out in such a way that everything looks really shiny and you can really see the vision. But in a thrift shop, you have to have the vision. Everything can look a bit chaotic, out of context. And so it really helps to go in with a vision of what you want. So when I was a teen, I had this very hippie-ish, eclectic sort of style. Thrifting was my go-to, and it was super easy because having things be a bit shambolic and fit a bit badly was actually sort of part of the aesthetic. And then in my early 20s, I went through phases of prioritizing comfort a bit more in my style, mostly because, chronic illness and pandemic. And so I kind of got out of the habit of being theatrical or expressive with my clothes. And now I'm kind of at a place where I want to start dressing again in a fun way. But in terms of what I'm looking for in my style now, when I was a teenager, even though I was wearing these eccentric clothes, I was also sort of hiding my body. I would wear a lot of fabrics, always long skirts, often with long sleeves. But now I want to feel have shape. I want to feel good, I want to feel put together. I wanted that playful vibe, but I also wanted to feel grown up. A little powerful, but also silly. I don't know. I'm trying to find where I land in all of that. I kind of want to be feminine, but in a vaguely authoritative way. I want to look like someone who puts effort into their appearance, but not in a weird neo girl boss way, where my self-worth is intrinsically linked to how shiny my hair is. Oh, and I also want it all to be a bit camp, obviously. Goes without saying. So in general, based on my Pinterest, I would say I'm going for autumn layers that are fitted and chic and long. They're vaguely witchy. I like things that evoke the Bloomsbury Group, Kate Bush, Florence Welch. I want to dress with a colour palette that evokes Pedro Almodovar's mommy issues. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the femininity I'm going for. It's not divine feminine. It's Pedro Almodovar's mommy issues feminine. I'm not going to find one of these today, but I'm always looking out for, and one day I'll find it. A long, witchy cardigan, sort of duster style vibe that I can layer over things to just give it that kind of wizardy vibe. I think being whimsical without being little girly is a balance I'm trying to strike. I think Florence Welch is my guy because she kind of blends romantic pre-Raphaelite fairy vibes with 70s rock star pantsuits. Which I think, it's crazy that she's a heterosexual. How, you don't normally make them like that. Another aesthetic that I want to incorporate that I really like lately. 1970s feminist magazine editor / it's the late 60s and I'm a preppy university student. And I'm kind of a bit posh, but I've just discovered Bob Dylan. And I'm becoming a communist, but I'm not so, my hair is still immaculately blow dried. It's this, do you know what I mean? I also feel autumn aesthetic, Diane Keaton and Annie Hall, R.I.P. Queen, elements of Katharine Hepburn, patron saint of the ladies, and her kind of slightly off-sized suits, but then also 90s witch long cardigan jeans, your cool babysitter who works also at a cafe, listens to Alanis Morissette. That's a bit more basic, but there's a way, I think we can marry these things. I've written here Beth Porter from The L Word if she was in an Agnes Varda film, but that's a little aspirational. I've written outfits that don't rely on my seeming cute. I like anything where the riz does not come from you being adorable, but the riz comes from oh, she's kind of scary. She has her life together. She has her life together so much that she ironed that shirt. I bet she reads novels. You know what I mean? Outfits that kind of make you stand up a bit straighter. I really like wearing scarves lately, and I feel it's that sort of thing of they're comfortable, but they feel just weird enough on your body that you know that you're dressed. This is the least fun, but if I see any gym gear, I should get it because I cannot keep going to the gym in my musical theatre t-shirts. The first place I went was a shop called Umana. Today they were doing a sale where everything was €2. At the end of each season they do a week of sales, everything €5 one day, 4 the next, 3 the day after that, until eventually everything is €1, and the following day the new set of stock comes in. In general though, this is more of a charity shop than a vintage shop, which means it's much less curated but much cheaper. I got 3 autumn winter sweaters there and a very funky pair of bloomers. but I kind of love them. The next place I visited is my other fave in the area, though a bit more on the pricey side. The clothing is individually priced, but they also sell clothing by the kilo. I love the vibe of this shop. It feels like a wonderland to get lost in. I got a shirt and trousers there, and I also tried on the loveliest silk skirt, but it had a rip in it. The next shop isn't relevant to my agenda and what I'm looking for, but if you're a Y2K type girl, this shop is fabulous, and also right beside my favourite gluten-free bakery, just FYI. And right around the corner is Olala Vintage, which is absolutely enormous and reminds me of the backstage of a vaudeville show. They also sell furniture, and I lusted over some cafe terrace style chairs, which I do not need because I do not in fact own a cafe. But the main bulk of your day, if you decide to go thrifting in Raval, will probably be spent on the Calle dels Talleres, a street almost entirely lined with thrift and vintage shops. My favourites are Beyond Wear, specifically for buying coats and jackets, and my other favourite is Circular, which has a great selection and where I found this dress which I loved but which thank God did not fit me well because I could not afford it. We're back. We're sleepy, but if we don't film this soon, we're gonna lose the light. This is the first jumper that I got in Umana for a whopping €2. It's fun, it's preppy, it's autumnal. I love the silk scarf mini skirt boot combo. It has a Scooby-Doo quality that I appreciate. Do you remember when the internet got really weirdly obsessed with colour theory? I learned some useful things. I believe myself to be a spring of some kind. I'm pale and I have fair hair, but there's some warmth in there, and I look good when I wear things that have a corally undertone, which was surprising to me because I used to be a real earth tones person and it didn't suit me as much as I thought it did. So I like this because this is more of a orangey corally red than a cherry red, but I just think of everything I got, this is the thing that makes my face look the most shiny. It's almost like an Aran sweater, traditional kind of jumper from Ireland. But also with a wide-legged pant. There's so many ways I can go with this. And it'll be so cozy. I already feel I want to just get a hold a mug in my hand and look wistfully out a window. And every single one of those costs €2. I'm organising this from least to most out there. They're kind of short on me in a way that I feel is intentional to their design. But that can look very chic and 60s and sort of funky, or it can look this is a really insane thing to say. This coat of pant can read as campy and stylish and 60s and Audrey Hepburn, or it can read as homophobic geography teacher. Do you know what I mean? So I'm gonna try it with a shirt that I also thrifted from the same shop. Okay, mujer al bord. Are we getting somewhere? I have one of these, but that feels like we're verging on. Is that anything? I don't mind if it looks too micro-trend. I just don't want it to look like I'm culturally appropriating George Bizet's Carmen. Although it was written by a French guy, so seems like fair game. I don't know what's happening here. I just know that I'm having fun. I look I kind of look like Elizabeth Debicki playing Virginia Woolf playing Shakespeare. Oh, there's this image I saw on Pinterest of this woman, this mountain woman with a gun. Not that we should be promoting violence, but is this not so fun? The final piece, which is a stretch. These pants. These are old-timey bloomers. Absolutely no idea how I'm going to style them. Because apart from anything else, they're also just kind of too big for me. I'm talking so much to myself that you're barely included in this conversation. If I safety pin these up here, it might almost work. This isn't as horrendous as I thought it was going to be. I would want to be full of the joys of life of a morning to decide to put these on. It's very hard to do the Bloomsbury thing and not look like a pirate, and I think it comes down a lot to colours. For autumn though, a cowboy boot? I actually don't hate it, but I may have lost the plot entirely at this point. Accidentally put this on backwards, but very nice backwards too. I really thought these were going to be they were €2. So I was listen, we'll get them because I'm curious about them. I'm kind of obsessed. But I feel the best application for them under something. Hold on. Is it you? If I do I think Maria's best style going forward, I'm going to need to pre-plan this section Because what you're witnessing is me in my little mind palace, and I can't communicate with other humans. I'm not using full sentences because I'm finishing them in my own head, which is fine, but it doesn't really work. This is a communicative format for it. I don't mind looking Shakespearean. I'm losing it. I'm losing the reality. I should stop now. We may have some work to do regarding my returning to dressing like I have a personality. But it was an admirable first day. I am very excited that I got some basics, some jumpers that were much needed, and also some more whimsical pieces to play around with and work out. Get to the bottom of. I'm going to get to the bottom of these. Let me know if you would like me to do a different neighbourhood of thrift shops. And I'll see you in the next one.